Good afternoon to
வணக்கங்க
all.
ஐயா, வணக்கம்.
வணக்கம். So, dear RKS family, RKS Chairman Dr. Magadamati sir, Secretary Engineer Govindaraju, Dr. Kumar correspondent, and other directors, Principal Dr. Mohan Sundar and Vice Principal Dr. John Victor, Organizing Secretary T. Arul HOD, Commerce Department HOD Dr. Arul, BBA HOD Dr. Sankaran, and primarily Dr. Subhadra Chaladurai, Value India Investment Services, Accelerating Minds, who has taken up the role of accelerating the minds of all our participants, particularly our students of RKS. Welcome to all. So this is a more relevant topic on savings and investment, a new equation. When I appeared for the TNPSC examination to join government services, I started with savings. So there was an essay on savings. Perhaps that got me the post when I appeared for TNPSC competitive examinations. So I quoted, ஆன முதலில் அதிகம் செலவானால் மானம் அழிந்து மதிகெட்டு போன திசை எல்லாருக்கும் கள்ளனாய் ஏழ்பிறப்பும் தீயனாய் நல்லாருக்கும் பொல்லானாம் நாடு. ஆக ஆன முதலில் அதிகம் செலவான. So savings is the essential part of our life as an individual, as a state and institution. So every time in the year January, February, we become busy with the budget. When I worked in the secretariat, we were busy with preparing policy note. So the policy note, we concentrate on expenditure, various kinds of expenditure. Normally it is in the government budget. So we focus on the people's savings and investment. In the globalization era, this has become very, very essential, and very particularly now during the pandemic period. Everybody has become nervous, and all investors, one pensioner who has invested some 40 lakhs and getting around 25,000, suddenly the government has lowered the interest rates and his income has gone down, and what can I do, he has asked, like that. So it is a very essential, very everybody has to know what is savings and what is investment. And a new equation is the point which gains our attention now during the pandemic period. And I wish Dr. Subhadra Chaladurai because she has come from accelerating minds of Mumbai, and I hope she will accelerate all our minds. Wish you good luck and enjoy the program. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, you can proceed. Go on to the next item. You can proceed with the next item. Can you hear me?
Sir, thanks for your valuable and informative speech, sir. As usual, it was having more clarity, and you gave the better introduction. So we thank business administration, sir. So thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks for coming and thanks for honoring us. Thanks for your blessing, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. And then, as a next stage, we invite our honorable principal, sir, Dr. G. Mohansundaram, who is the IQAC chairman of the institution. So, it's a matter of pride as are here. So I invite our honorable principal, sir, to come and share his valuable principal address. Please come, sir.
Okay. செல்வத்துள் செல்வம் செவிச்செல்வம் அச்செல்வம் செல்வத்துள் எல்லாம் தலை என்ற அழகான வள்ளுவனுடைய வரிகளை நினைவு கூர்ந்து செல்வத்திற்குரிய துறையாக அதனை எப்படி செலவிட வேண்டும், எப்படி பாதுகாக்க வேண்டும் என்பதனை எல்லாம் கணக்கிடக்கூடிய துறையாக இருக்கின்ற இந்த துறையினுடைய இந்த அருமையான நிகழ்விலே இதனை அழகாக அமைத்திருக்கின்ற இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியை ரொம்ப சிறப்பாக இப்படித்தான் செய்ய வேண்டும் என்கின்ற அளவுக்கு ஒரு சிறப்பு விருந்தினர் நமக்கு கிடைத்திருக்கிறார் என்றால் அது மிக அல்ல. அந்த வகையில் மும்பையிலிருந்து நம்மோடு பகிர இருக்கின்ற சிறப்பு விருந்தினர் அவர்களை வரவேற்பதில் மிகுந்த மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகின்றேன். என்றைக்கும் சுபமாக இருக்கும். அந்த வகையில் சுபத்ரா அவர்கள் நமக்கு இன்றைக்கு இருக்கிற நிலையில் நாட்டினுடைய தன்மைக்கேற்ற ஒரு தலைப்பினை அமைத்து இன்னைக்கு சிறப்பாக அந்த உரையை வழங்க இருக்கிறார்கள். அதற்கு முன்னோட்டமாக எங்களுடைய கல்வியினுடைய ஆலோசகர், எங்களுடைய குடும்ப ஆலோசகராக எங்களுடைய ஆர்கேஎஸ் கல்வி குடும்பத்தினுடைய திரு மதிவாணன் ஐயா அவர்களுடைய பேச்சு அமைந்திருக்கின்றது. அவர்களை இந்த நேரத்தில் வரவேற்பதில் மிகுந்த மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகின்றேன். நம்முடைய கல்லூரியினுடைய தலைவர், தாளாளர், எங்களுடைய துணை முதல்வர், இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியை அழகாக அமைத்திருக்கின்ற எங்களுடைய வணிகவியல் மற்றும் வணிக மேலாண்மை துறையினுடைய துறை தலைவர்கள், உதவி பேராசிரியர்கள் அனைவருக்கும் மதிய வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றேன். இன்றைக்கு இருக்கிற நிலையில் எந்த அளவிற்கு நாட்டினுடைய முன்னேற்றம் அமையும் என்றால் 2 துறைகளால் நிச்சயமாக முடியும். ஒன்று விவசாயத்துறை, மற்றொன்று தொழில்துறை. இந்த இரண்டினுடைய வளர்ச்சி தான் நாட்டினுடைய அடிப்படையான வளர்ச்சியாக நிச்சயமாக இருக்க முடியும். வரி ஏற்றுதல், வரியை குறைத்தல், ஒரு மன்னன் வரி எந்த அளவுக்கு விதிக்கணும்னு நம்முடைய தமிழன் சொல்லியிருக்கான். அதை எப்படி அதை செலவு பண்ணணும் நம்முடைய தமிழர்கள் புறநானூற்று பாடல்களில் சொல்லி உள்ளார்கள். அதையெல்லாம் தாண்டி ஒரு நாட்டினுடைய நிரந்தரமான முன்னேற்றம் என்பது சிக்கனமாக பாதுகாத்தல் இருக்கிறது. அந்த சிக்கனம் என்பது எதை சார்ந்து இருக்கும் என்றால் தன்னுடைய வருவாயை சார்ந்து இருக்கும். அந்த வருவாயை சார்ந்து இருக்கின்ற சிக்கனமான வாழ்க்கை ஒரு குடும்பத்தினுடைய வளர்ச்சி. அந்த வருவாயை பெருக்கி அதிலிருந்து செலவு பண்ணக்கூடிய தன்மை ஒரு நாட்டை சார்ந்தது. அந்த வகையில் நாடு, குடும்பம் இவை இரண்டுக்குமே ஒரு தலையாய ஒரு கடமை இருக்கிறது. அது என்னவென்றால் சிக்கனமாக இருத்தல், மிகச்சிறந்த தொழில்துறையை மிகச்சிறந்த துறையாகவே நிலைநிறுத்துதல். இவை இரண்டிலும் தான் வெற்றி இருக்கிறது. அதனை அழகான ஒரு தலைப்பாக கொண்டு இன்றைக்கு இந்த இணைய வழி கருத்தரங்கத்திற்கு ஏற்பாடு செய்திருக்கின்ற கணினி மற்றும் கணினி வணிகவியல் மற்றும் வணிக மேலாண்மை துறையினை பாராட்டி இடம் சார்கிறேன். நன்றி.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful speech about the webinar that we are conducting today. And thanks for your support and guidance, sir, towards the successful conducting of this program. Next, the IQSC coordinator of the institution, the vice principal, and one of the faculty members of the department, the senior person, Dr. B. John Victor sir, to come and give his felicitation address.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, you are audible, sir.
First of all, I would like to wish very good afternoon to everybody who are in the online meet. Respected chairman of this reputed institution, directors and academic director, Mr. Madhivan, sir, the former joint director of collegiate education, and now the academic director of our institution. Respected principal, sir, respected HOD of Commerce, Dr. Arul, sir, and all the faculty members of Commerce. Respected Dr. Sankaran, sir, the HOD of Business Administration, and the faculty members of the department same. The students who support the head and faculty members for the success of this event, and the participants from various destinations, various institutions or industries. But for all of you, I wish once again very good afternoon. The topic is right now is definitely a apt one, because the savings and investment, especially this 3 months of period, the lockdown schedule due to Corona makes people to think over savings and investment. Till 3 months before, the people, they live as they like. Part of people had some savings. Because of that, they run their life during this lockdown, though they don't have any business schedule. And the daily wages, like people, they suffered a lot. And even people, those who depend on a particular job, suffered a lot. So at this moment, the savings and in this title, definitely the participants to utilize in the future, as well as they may be a preacher to the society. That means they definitely proclaim this good information to the society, the importance of savings and investment. So the Department of Commerce and the Business Administration jointly organizing this webinar with a meaningful way, the right topic at the right time, at the right mood. Maybe that is the concept of this webinar. For this webinar, Dr. Subhadra Chelladurai from Accelerating Minds Mumbai is the right one. We feel that the people may not know about the person personally or individually, but this webinar session will create a good bridge between the resource person and between the participants. So we feel very proud and happy that our institution makes a platform for the participants and also for the common people, those who want to invest their money in coming days. Because if the another 3 months of time goes like this, so definitely even the richest people will find it difficult to run their life. So we feel it's the right time to discuss about this topic. So for this wonderful event, wonderful session, on behalf of the management, administrators, principal, and all the heads and faculty members, and especially on behalf of Internal Quality Assurance Cell, IQAC, we congratulate everyone and we wish everyone to utilize this great opportunity. So thank you. Thanks for the opportunity given to me for this much of felicitation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your brief introduction about the title of today's webinar. And Sir is always being with us, and he suggests and he shows the way in what way the programs are to be organized. So we are always thankful to our Vice Principal, Sir Dr. P. John Victor. Another thing, I take this opportunity to thank the management, the chairman, sir, the correspondent, sir, the secretary, the honorable and beloved principal, sir, and our advisor, Shri A. Madhivanan, sir, and vice principal, sir, the HODs from other departments, the faculty members, for their support and guidance towards the successful conducting of this program. So as a next part of the program, I invite our faculty member, Dr. R. Anandaraman sir, to come and give the chief guest introduction to invite our honorable resource person today.
Good afternoon and all present here. Good afternoon and all present here. I would like to introduce our resource persons, Dr. Subhatra Chaladurai. She is an authorized resource persons of a valuable idea investment service and accelerating mind Mumbai. She is a founder president of Research Skill Development and Women Forum of Buy and You Trust. She is working as an assistant professor of commerce in Pioneer Kumarasamy College since 2013. She has 18 years of teaching and administrative experience in school, college, and NGOs. She had been awarded MPhil and PhD degree from MS University, Tirunelveli. She qualified MA Sociology and MSc Psychology. She participated more than 200 national and international conference and webinars, and also published more than 60 research articles and 11 books. She is also NLP and soft skill trainer. She is acted as a resource person of her experts in various institutions. She received Best Paper Award, 4 Best Paper Award in national and international conference. She received Radhakrishnan Shikshana Ratna National Award and Ahimsa Gandhi Award, Kaviyarasan Kalaimamani Award, Young Educator Award and recently received Women Achievement Award from Tirunelveli, from MS University, Tirunelveli. Thank you once again. Thank you.
So thank you, Dr. Anandraman sir, for introducing me in a very nice manner. My greetings to Dr. R.K. Shanmugam College of Arts and Science, management, chairman, principal, and the head of the Department of PG and Research Department of Commerce, and head of the Department of Business Administration. And my special greetings to Sheetal Shah ma'am and Swarupa ma'am of Accelerating Mind Bombay Stock Exchange, Mumbai, who have assigned me with this webinar as a resource person to address on the topic savings and investment, a new equation. So let me start with my presentation on the same topic. I hope you all know about the Bombay Stock Exchange, BSE. Established in 1875, is Asia's first and the fastest stock exchange in the world. Over the past 143 years, BSE has facilitated the growth of Indian corporate sector by providing it an efficient capital raising platform. It builds wealth with capital. It does not only build capital with for the stock exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange, but for the overall nation. It contributes to the economic as well. You know what capital market is? It is the part of financial system concerned with raising capital by dealing in shares, bonds, and other long-term investments. We people in the corporate and academic side, we engaged in teaching learning process, and the students engaged in the learning process from the different stream. You might be having a target or aim or ambition behind, or the reason behind why you study. Of course, our answer would be it's for knowledge. And why do we need knowledge or skill? It is for job or to earn money. In simple, we say it is to earn money. We want money, we want income, and that's the reason we study and we get into a job, we say. And we have several different sources of income. As if you ask the commerce students, they'll say there are different 5 types of income under the income tax calculations. That is income from salary, that is earned income in the form of wages, expenses, and pension, annuity, gratuity, and other fees and concession, including PF contributions too, in the form of salary. And income from house property or profit that business or profession obtained from business or profession. And income from capital gains, that includes long-term and short-term capital gains, and income from other sources that includes interest on bank deposits and securities, dividends, royalty income, winning on lotteries and races, gifts, and other gifts receiving from other sources too. Apart from all this income, one major person who contributes or earns more, we call him as investor. He is a person who typically generates returns by deploying capital as either equity or debt or investments. So they are the person who earns more in the form of, one is the business or professional person, and the other one is the investor who gets interest, profit, dividend, and capital gain as their income. So one such investor I'm going to show you is, you may be knowing this person, Warren Buffett. He's the investor, business magnate, as well as he is considered as one of the most successful investor in the world. Out of all his saying, I just wanted to mention and address one important sayings on sayings. Do not say what is left after you are spending, but spend what is left after your savings. So this is going to be the equation I'm going to introduce you. Not only this one, I'll introduce some more concept on sayings and earnings and spendings. That would be the takeaway of this webinar. So you have to alter the equation. Ordinarily, a person working as an employee or an employer or a profession or engaged in investment, whoever it is, they will be getting some earnings, even including the laborer. We can say about agricultural laborer, coolies, everyone. So what's the earnings? However they earn, whether it is 1,000, 10,000, 20,000 of lakhs of rupees, they spent money and the remaining they used to save. This is the older concept, or whatever we adopt, the same concept. Even sometimes what happens, our earnings exceeds our spending. And our earnings does not meet all our requirements. Our spending exceeds. So what happens? We borrow loans from others. We get a loan or in the form of money borrow from others. These things happens in our life. And we leave the concept of savings. And what we have to do is, you have to substitute, we have to bring the savings here. That is, out of your earnings, whatever the money it may be, 1,000 or 10,000 per day or per month or per year, whatever it may, per annum, whatever the earnings it may be, you must save first. Out of 1,000 rupees, take 100 rupees or 200 rupees, you have to take out of the money, and the remaining amount you have to spend. So this is the sayings of Warren Buffett, and the saving I have marked an apostrophe in between saving and yes. There is a difference between saving and savings. If you see, the word saving is not income not spent. That is deferred consumption is saving. Whereas saving is different from savings. Savings is an activity. Saving is an activity occurring over time, a flow variable. Whereas savings refers to something that exists at any one time, a stock variable in the form of bond, debentures, investments, long-term and short-term. All called as savings. If anybody has their mic unmuted, kindly mute it. The distinction is often misunderstood, and even professional economists and investment professionals will often refer to saving and savings. They will have a confusion over the two terms. So how we save? Recently, government has initiated the program called savings. Postal saving in zero account balance, Jan Dhan Yojana and all. So the World Bank 2017 Global Index database shows that nearly 80% of Indian people had a bank account at the time of survey. So up to 53% it was there in 2014, and it's gradually increased to 80% in 2017 Global Index. So that means account holders has been gradually, and this rapid growth has been driven by Jan Dhan, or People Wealth Program, which opened over the more than 355 million accounts in India state and private sectors in 5 years. So yet, despite the rapid provision of bank accounts to almost every household in the country, the World Bank report shows that the data shows that half of the Indian bank accounts are inactive. That means most of the people, more than 50% of the account holders, does not access their account. You all know what banking is. Accepting deposit and lending money is banking. That means a person has to deposit some money and withdraw some money. And in that case, we say the account is active and actively banking persons, we can say. In that case, more than 50% out of the 80% of overall bank account holders, 50% are inactive. So we'll come on to spending. If we say spending, what we out of your earnings, whatever the income you get, you're spending. Most of the people, they won't take it as a choice. Many people won't take it as a choice. Spending is essential, they believe. And due to this COVID situations, most of our expenses are cut off. I want some of you to mention that in chat box. What are the expenses we cut off in the COVID situation? You can use the chat box to answer, so that we can make the session interactive. What are the expenses we cut off in during lockdown season? Some expenses we cut off. We don't buy food from hotel. We started cooking at home. Yes, often 90% we cook and 10% somehow we borrow or we buy food from other hotels. We order, and that these things have been reduced now. So that expenses has cut off. Then what else we can say? Anything else? Yes, petrol or diesel, we are traveling, tuition fees, your bus fare, theatre and mall and shopping is very good. Theatre, mall, shopping and all we have stopped. Entertainment, movies we have stopped. Stopped eating outside, bus fare, luxurious expenses, right? Anything else? Anything which you wanted to include? The tourism industry totally stopped. We stopped going outside, buying dress material, shoppings especially. Shopping in fun mall, outings, luxury items, and one more thing we want to know, beauty parlor, very good, and dress materials, restaurants, yes, and functions, ceremonies have been reduced now. Ceremonies have been reduced with 100%, 100 family members we can conduct it. So that expenses now it has been reduced. Yes. So these things, what we reduced, these habit, if you cut on these expenses and you take these expenses cut off as a saving in the forthcoming days, in the future, whoever it is, whether it is employees, coolies, or agriculture, or professional, or investors, whoever it may be, everybody started practicing this cut off expenses habit. Yes, guests started coming. That role has been stopped now. Now most of us are not visiting others' home. So these expenses and traveling, everything is cut off. So these can be taken as a savings in future. So now, one more question I wanted to ask you is, what is your expense? Well, I won't ask about your earnings. Whoever it is academician, professionals, or you're in the corporate sector or industrialists, whoever it is, I won't ask your earnings. Just tell me what is your expense in the December 2019 and what is your household expense in June 2020. Even if you do not answer, just apply your mind and think about it. What was your expense in December 2019 and what is your expense now? So you can say even during lockdown, many of us, our earnings have been reduced and that's the reason we are spending less. It may be the reason, but your spending has reduced. Even if you don't mention the amount exactly, but you can say that your spending has reduced on even monthly expenses is totally got reduced. Then now and compared to 2019, it is very less. Yes, Zoom user, one of the person, he did not mention his name. He says it has been reduced. It is less compared to before. So this is going to be a saving. I say, I can, again, you can say if you reduce your monthly expenses in all this aspect, which we are discussing about, shopping, fun mall, mela, tour, outings, functions, luxury items and cosmetics, buying cosmetics, cooking at home, and reducing all the expenses in entertainment, even medical expenses, those who used to visit the hospitals frequently, now that concept is also reduced. They started consuming if it is very important, they'll take tablets at home. Otherwise, they stop visiting hospitals. So these expense also got reduced. And this is going to be your, the formula I'm going to take away for the forthcoming days. And that would be your savings. If you ask financial advisors, they'll share this ratio, 50, 30, and 20 ratio. The 50% is your need. Basic needs you deploy or you consume or spend in, and 30% in your wants, and this 20%, that is, if suppose your per day income is 1,000 rupees, then you have to spend 500 for your basic needs and 300 for your wants, and the remaining 20% you can save every day or every month. You can apply this formula, or I can differentiate this needs and wants. What is the difference between the needs and wants? How can we differentiate it? We can say in economics, The need is something needed to survive, while a want is something that people decide to have that may or may not be able to meet or obtain. It can be obtained or it cannot be obtained. It is not compulsory. Wants a desire and it is optional, meaning that you will still able to go on living even if your want is not met. But basic need is not so. That is what we have allotted 50% of income for need, and 30% you can spend for, yes, less than 60% we can spend for basic needs. And the 20% you take for savings, not only every day, every month. If you apply this formula, it is going to be a wonderful big savings in future. It will result to big savings. நம்ம தமிழ்ல சொல்றது சிறுதுளி பெருவெள்ளம் சொல்லுவோம். நமக்கு ஒரு நாள் மிச்சப்படுத்தும் போது 100 to 100 is not going to be big matter. But if you start saving 100 to 100, at last what happen? You'll end up with the big hundis or hundials. We'll say piggy bank, we say. முன்னாடி சின்ன வயசுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா எல்லாரோட வீட்லயும் இந்த உண்டியல் habit was there. But nowadays, most of the home, you cannot find any undial. We won't gift our children with undial. 10 rupees, 20 rupees, plastics undials are available. The piggy banks are available. We won't give or inculcate that habit of saving among children. So the children and youth, why we are stressing more upon the habit of savings among children and youth is very important. So I'll be talking on that aspect in the forthcoming slides. So when you keep your money as it is not going to grow. And I promise you, I'm not going to propose any company where you have to invest, and I'm not going to tell you that under Bombay Stock Exchange, there are many companies where you can invest and where you can grow your money. That concept we won't touch. We wanted to stress upon the importance of savings, because it has a role in national economy, it has a role in country's development, and youth has role in country's development. So that is a concept we will stress upon in the forthcoming slides. So saving does not build wealth. So deploy your savings prudently to maintain or improve its value. If you wanted to improve your value, you have to deploy it in a prudently, wise or prudent, vivegamana சில செயல்களை. If you do that, what will happen? Your savings will increase. Your money will start growing. So always right thing happens in a life when you do right things. Right thing happens only by doing right things. Right things in life is to do right things. So you have to do right things in order to make some good or right things to happen in your life. And always live a principle centered life. கொள்கைகளுடைய ஒரு வாழ்க்கை. ஏனோ தானோன்னு இல்லாம எப்படி வேணா வாழலாம் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி இல்லாம, sometimes you can say the people, those who are earning more than what a laborer earns, they have more debts in the bank. They have more credits in the bank. What happens? They buy more loans from the banks. They'll have more commitments to pay. And compared to the other people, those who earn less than them, they don't have much கடன் எல்லாம் அவங்களுக்கு அவ்வளவு இருக்காது. But these people will have. It is because of the planning, lack of planning, a lack of prudently thinking. That's a wise or principle centered life is missing among them. If you live in a principle centered life, or if you think have a plan over your living, what will happen? You will end up becoming rich. This is a saying, actually, the right things happen as a life to do right things and prudent and this principle centered living. It was said by Stephen Covey. He was an American educator, author, and businessman, and a keynote speaker. His most popular book was The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. If you get time to read in the lockdown period, you have enough time to read, you can read these kind of successful men's write-ups. You can see, you can read it out, and you will get many quotes and many saying. And if you adopt, not only limit with reading, adopt in a life, you'll end up becoming rich and you'll end up becoming a successful person. Here is a person called Charles Munger. He says he's an American businessman, lawyer, and investor, and a philanthropist. He says, as long as you don't do any nonsense with your money, any nonsense in the sense, any unwanted thing with your money, what will happen? You'll end up becoming rich. Nothing will happen. If you save your money, if you do not do any nonsense with your money, what will happen? You'll end up becoming rich. that is going to happen. And at the same time, the patience and discipline is more important. You must be very disciplined in spending money, in your earning money, and the way to find to earn money. You must be very disciplined. At the same time, you must be more patient in order to earn money. So every household, every savings, every person incomes matters. You know what national income is and what GDP is, gross domestic product is. We'll see one by one. The household savings and the household, every individual's income, spending and earnings matters to the country. If household savings continues to decline, it may pose a serious challenge to the GDP growth and macroeconomic stability. Not only microeconomic stability, but also the macroeconomics. Desa level economic stability, it's going to imbalance, it's going to trouble when your household savings or household income or household earnings and spendings spoils their behavior spoils the overall economy of a nation, we can say. India's overall savings rate has declined to 30% from 34.6% over 5 years, ending financial year 2016-17. I have given here. The worst dip was seen in the household sector, the largest contributor to savings in the economy. The economy in the savings in the economy, the largest contribution is on savings and investment. A false alarm over domestic savings in India. You can interact in this aspect at the end of the session. Physical savings of household, which is behind the decline in the domestic savings rate, reflects inaccurately captured investment of the unorganized sector. It is going, even it will affect and it will shows some kind of impact over organized sectors too. I'll tell you what organized and what unorganized sectors you may be knowing. Whatever the organizations, departments, and the institution which comes under government or organized sector, or public sectors or organized sector. And the remaining 80% plus, I'll say, I won't stop with 80% exactly. Around 20% comes under organized sector, and the remaining all our laborers and all our employees, unemployed persons, they all comes under unorganized sectors. And certainly these household saving is going to affect unorganized sectors too, the lack of savings. Okay. So economic growth is always measured by increase in the gross domestic product. The total amount of money earned within a country is defined as national net wealth. So what GDP is? This is the components of GDP. GDP, gross domestic product. It is the combined of all values of goods and services produced within a country. And there are two ways to calculate. In India, they adopt two ways to calculate GDP rate. The first method is economic activity at factor cost, and the second is based on the expenditure at market price, expenditure method, in which you can see the consumption, investment, and the investment spending by household also matters. This important aspect. This investment and sending off every household matters. See, this is what our actual and every earnings of every individual matters in our country, as I mentioned in my previous slide. Youth has major part in economic development. I wanted to stress upon the other important aspect is India has more than 50% of its population below the age of 25 and more than 65% below the age of 35. It is expected that in 2020, the average age of an Indian will be 29 years compared to 37 for China and 48 for Japan. We say Japan and other leading countries are US and all developed country, and India has at present that I said it is expected in 2020. Now we are in 2020 and the age of India is now 29 years, the youngest country. And by 2030, India's youth population will be more as compared to other age groups. And the youth has the ability to drive economy forward. Our nation progress depends upon these youth population. And of course, there is a correlation between savings and employment. In India, savings has become less and less private, which you with consumption rate rising, savings rate of households falling, economics point out that unemployment rates are also to be blamed for the drop in financial saving rates. We have to blame for savings in decrease in saving. What is the main cause is unemployment has its role. It's to be blamed for the savings rates decline, because household saving has a contribution over economic rate or GDP growth, whereas unemployment rate has a role in savings rate. So which area as academicians, as a educationist and as an institution, as a student and teacher, which area we need to focus more on is on employment. Unemployment exists, we need to focus more on employment. In what way we can contribute to employment? In what way we can make our citizens, our youth, employable citizen is, in order to make them employed, we can say to be employed, there are two options, whether they can be an employee in any of the industry or a company, they can work under the employer, or they can be an employer. Start their venture, being an entrepreneur, as a owner or the company, they can start their own venture with a startup, and they can provide employment opportunity to more number of people in the country. And these two concepts are going to contribute to economic development, making them employment, earn money, saving, spending, and then contribute to even on investment. Investment also has a major role in GDP. So the investment practice starts with saving only. Unless and until you have money, how will you involve in investment? So saving. So before saving, you need to earn, and for earning money, you need to be employed. And in order to be employed, our role is to train our students and our beloved and responsible youngsters or youth population of a country with the skill development training or entrepreneurial training, starting their own venture, and teach them with some aptitude, because without the aptitude, reasoning, and other important interview facing techniques, even they cannot work engaged in organized or unorganized sector. I said organized or public sectors and unorganized or private sectors. So government, state or central government, whatever it may be, it gives more attention on both the sectors, making them employed so that they can contribute to the to create a dynamic vibrant population which contributes to the economy as a whole, for contribute to the country as a whole. Here is the saying of Swami Vivekananda: the youth are indeed the most dynamic and vibrant segment of the population in any country, not only our country. In order to make our country vibrant, in order to proceed our country with as a developed country, the population, especially on the major population, the highest number of youth population should be dynamic, educated, empowered, and dynamic population, dynamic youth we have to. So he is a person who dreamt of his vision to make India a developed country. He made the youth to dream about a better India. So in order to make a better India, each and every one of us should contribute to our country's growth, economic growth. So at last, I wanted to end up by saying a quote of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam: you cannot change your future, but you can change your habits. You can change your habits, and habits surely change your future. So what kind of habits are the takeaway which I'm going to address in this webinar is these three concepts I wanted to give you as a takeaway. This is a message you're going to take with you. The 20, 30, 50 concept. The 20 is saving. I brought it in the first. In the earlier previous slide, you might have seen the 50% is, it was in the first, and then 30 followed by 20. Now I've given importance to 20%. 20% is your savings, 30% is meeting your wants, and 50% is on your needs, your basic needs. So even you can compromise, if you are willing to compromise on your wants, you can increase your savings. That is earnings, then savings, then go on spending. So once again, I wanted to stress upon the sayings, if you do not do any nonsense with your money, at last you will end up becoming rich. That is the message which I wanted to give you as an equation. And at the end of the slide, at the end of the session, yearnings should be given more important. Unless and until you yearn, educate and empower your own self and be a dynamic person, you cannot make your country dynamic. For the past 50 to 60 years, we are saying India is a developing country. When are we going to say India is a dynamic and developed country? So in order to say that word, in order to say the sentence with confidence and pride, each and every one of us have to concentrate and make ourselves dynamic so that we can contribute to our country economically and overall aspects growth we can see to make our country developed and dynamic. With this, I wanted to conclude with these takeaways. Thank you. And it's my duty to thank the principal, chairman, and VP, the organizers, head of the Department of Commerce, Dr. Arul sir. He is known to me for the past 4 or 5 years. He's known to me. I've been to Sengudar College when he was working with as a head of the department in commerce. I visited his institution and addressed on the topic some kind of personality development. I addressed, I think, and I thank him for providing me this opportunity to organize a webinar under the banner Accelerating Minds Bombay Stock Exchange Savings and Investment New Equation. And my thanks goes to Department of Business Administration Head and the Internal Quality Assurance Chairman, our Honorable Principal, and the co-organizer who supported a lot to conduct this webinar more successfully. It's my own behalf, and now it's my time to welcome the feedback, if any, and along with the questions, if you have, we can interact. And few people say, I have seen in the chat